All right, here we go, and it's a sunny Tuesday for a change. At least it's semi-warm. Deb Lambert, garden author, is with us today at Corliss Brothers. Deb, good morning, and what's our plants of the week this week?
Good morning, Rick. Well, we're going to revisit the rose situation. I mean, there's such a great display out here right now, and the weather is just perfect the last few days, so we are experiencing a wonderful set of blooms here. So if we want to walk down through the area here where we've got so much color, and start off with some of the different categories. Some we'll revisit, some are new ones to us that we didn't talk about last time. And the first series that we're going to be looking at in this first block are all knockout roses. Some are single knockout, some are double. This one obviously is a double knockout rose. And the nice thing about the knockout roses is that they are very carefree. They have been bred so that they're more disease resistant, so you'll have much less problems with black spot, mildew, and so forth. And they're just generally hardier. They're sort of self-cleaning, so if you're busy and don't get in there to deadhead, they'll regrow and set more buds again. I will say, though, with any of the landscape roses, whether they be flower carpet or the knockout, if you get in there and do some deadheading, you'll be rewarded by having the blooms come back even that much sooner. But they're very easy care, very free-form roses. They will attain a height of 3 feet or so, 2.5, 3 feet, very easily, and they're easily kept at that range, too. If you want to keep them a bit lower, that's very doable, too. We probably ought to talk about briefly when you're cutting back, and these are some single knockout roses. Actually, this is a variety called Home Run. Absolutely gorgeous. Look at the intensity of that red. And they're just the prettiest rose. That's a new one for us this year. And that is classified as a landscape rose, so again, that's an easy one. This one will get a bit taller. This one will reach in the 4.5, 5 foot range. So if you're looking to do sort of a border or a screen, this is a nice one to consider for that. But when we cut back, at the point when the flowers are faded and we're ready to cut back, and I think most folks know this by now, but you always want to go above a set of 5 leaflets. The rule of thumb is to go back above the second set of 5 leaflets. So at the top we see 2 sets of 3 leaflets. Then we're looking at 5 as we get down here. So as we get to this one, this is about the place that we'd want to cut. So we'd retrim sharp diagonal angle. There's a little dormant bud in there, so you don't want to injure that, and that's where regrowth will start. I will say also that's an ideal place if you don't need to do much heading back, but if you want to go back to another set of 5 leaflets further down, perhaps this is getting really overgrown and you want to get some control back over it during the summer, you can literally go back above almost any set of 5 leaflets and they'll respond wonderfully. I do that with my David Austins and many other roses and have very good success. The key with roses is feeding. They're heavy feeders, so whether we're talking about these nice free-form knockouts or the flower carpets that we have over on the other side, we are looking at plants that would like to be fed about every 4 to 5 weeks with a granular fertilizer. In addition to that, and it's not too much, and we're talking about organic fertilizers, and we talk about a rose tone or a plant tone that you might be using. So in addition to that, using the Neptune's Harvest fish and seaweed will give them a great boost. And in fact, here we do foliar feeding, as I do at home, on many of our plants, including especially the roses. And plants take in the nutrients from the Neptunes so efficiently that it's almost overnight. The difference is almost overnight. That the leaves are greener, the plants just look better and healthier. And you get better color out of the blossoms. If you're using Neptunes on vegetables, you get actually better flavor from the vegetables too, because there's more sucrose within it, so it makes sense that higher sugars are going to make better tasting fruits and vegetables. So keep that in mind as part of your regime. And again, keeping the diseases at bay is what we're all about, whether it's by choosing one of these nice hardy roses that have been bred to have less disease, and also adding that supplement of the Neptunes, and the seaweed in there is going to help keep disease at bay. It also helps with heat and drought stress, so all the more reason to use something like that as a supplement. And that's not too much fertilizer because they're, like I say, very heavy feeders. We're walking along through the last of the knockout roses. There's reds and pinks and all sorts of colors in here. I know someplace around here we have other displays set up. There's yellows and whites and all too. So it's a nice range of colors from these very free-form, easy care plants. And the next one we're looking at here, this nice bright red one, we're looking at a climbing rose. And this section in here, from here up, is going to be the climbing roses. And I know we perhaps mentioned blaze, but I don't think we had a sample of it last time. This is what they call a climbing or rambling rose. So it has very heavy clusters of smaller roses. It's very appropriate for either a trellis or an arbor, or actually weaving along a corral fence. Works nicely for that too, in very free form. With all the climbing roses, the heaviest bud set is the first blossoms of the spring. So you never want to cut your roses early spring like you do your tea roses and all, because you'll be cutting off the best series of blooms. So let them bloom. Then if you need to shape them up, do it right after that first series, and sporadically on and off through the summer. The climbers will yield some more flowers, some more readily than others. It's just the nature of the climbers. But you always get more of a lighter display during the summer. There's another beautiful yellow climber. And I think this is one that we talked about, yep, the golden showers. And just absolutely beautiful. There's something about the buds too. I mean, the buds are just so beautiful in that too. A little tinge of pink on there, but what a strong yellow. It's such a pretty color. We have another one that's quite a showy one. And this is Joseph's Coat. Also Joseph's Coat is another climber. And it evidences multiple color ranges in there. When you look at them in a catalog, they're a little more spectacular. I think they do something, they tweak the colors.
Probably,
but I mean, it really is spectacular enough on its own though. And we're going by a few others here. Another I think this was one more climber that we had in yellow too. And Sky's the Limit is this one, and I love the way it fades out to that creamy color too. So you have a little variety. They start out really dark yellow and go to that creamy color, which I think is neat. You can see them on those over there. Very
All right, Deb, we're over 6 minutes now, so
all right. Well, we're going to have to stop, aren't we? How about, can we
right.
just focus in on a couple of roses?
Sure.
Get a couple of pictures here.
Yep.
This is John F. Kennedy, and it's one of the standards in whites. It's an absolutely beautiful plant. I was out here earlier taking a few still shots for the newsletter.
Yeah.
But absolutely beautiful. And there were just so many. Mr. Lincoln, one last one as we go back up this way perhaps. Mr. Lincoln is absolutely spectacular. I know we talked about this one last time, but boy, you can't beat that for a giant red flower. It's just amazing. But so much to look at.
Yep, and so little time. There you go.
All
right, and it's roses once again. Roses are plants of the week with Deb Lawler. I knew I was going to say that. With Deb Lambert, garden author. She's famous too. At Corliss Brothers on Route 133 in Ipswich. I'm Rick Moore.